Senator Patrick Leahy tonight taking aim at Chief Justice John Roberts, lecturing him, in fact, on why provisions of Obamacare should be upheld by the court.
I trust that he will be a Chief Justice for all of us, and that he has a strong institutional sense of the proper role of the judicial branch. Acting out based on their personal views in this matter would be the height of conservative judicial activism.
Of course, the senator's statements come as the High Court considers the constitutionality of Obamacare. Joining us now to discuss this and other legal issues that confront the nation, Peter Johnson, trial appellate attorney, Fox News legal analyst. Great to have you with us, Peter.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Your reaction to one of the senior senators basically saying, you know, this is judicial, well, he did say it's judicial activism if you don't find the way I see it.
I think he said even worse. It's a form of intimidation. He's saying it's our way or the highway, and it's really a personal attack on the Chief Justice. We expect in this country that the judicial branch, hopefully, is above the fray, is above the politics. We look for a higher standard. At the same time, we look for a higher standard that we're not going to impose our views on them. And so to say, if you don't find the way I want to find, if you act as the president did, where he said, oh, the Supreme Court, they're going to act in an unprecedented way. It was factually wrong. It was ethically wrong. It was totally wrong. He walked it back. But say, now let's intimidate these men and women on this bench. They're only men and women. They're there for life, but they're mortals. And they're subject to intimidation, yes.
And in this instance, you talked about rising above partisanship.
Yes.
But both parties make much of the fact that the president seeking re-election or Governor Romney seeking election will have the power to appoint Chief Justice implicitly into saying this is about partisanship on the court. Indeed, 5-4 decisions have become the order of the day, with exceptions.
Who a president appoints is a legitimate electoral issue. It's not a legitimate electoral issue to delegitimize a court or to demonize a court or Chief Judge Roberts or anybody else in that court for partisan political reasons. And that's what we're seeing. And if Obamacare is overturned, which I believe it will, partially or fully, the fear will move to loathing. And those folks will be vilified nationally and in commercials.
The Catholic Church,
yes.
43 religious entities. It's now a total of 23 federal lawsuits moving against the contraception mandate,
right,
and the attack on religious freedom as those plaintiffs see it. Your reaction? Well,
I think you've coined it right. It is an attack on religious freedom. It's not about contraception. And I think Cardinal Dolan says it well. I'll paraphrase him, and I've represented Cardinal Dolan and the Archdiocese, so let's have that.
So you have some practice.
Let's have that clear. He's saying, listen, the government can do what they want in terms of giving out drugs that will abort children. We're against it. We're morally, ethically, and religiously against it. But don't make us, as a community of faith, do what the government wants to do. That is the ultimate violation of a civil right, of religious liberty, of the First Amendment, and the Catholic Church and Dolan are standing up strong.
This is obviously a coordinated and highly energized a counter attack by the church against this administration in court, on television, commercials.
Everywhere.
It is actually quite something to behold. It is also breathtaking to see the U.S. Department of Justice, the Obama Justice Department, finally taking action on prosecutorial misconduct in the prosecution of then Senator Ted Stevens 2 years ago. It's taken internally that long to realize that there should be a penalty that will amount to what seems to me a slap on the wrist for the prosecutors.
Well, it seems to be part and parcel of the Holder Obama Justice Department not to look carefully at the operations of the Justice Department during their time or any time before and to take action. We see it with Fast and Furious. And now we see Senator Ted Stevens, God rest his soul, his life and his career were destroyed by this conviction that was ultimately overturned. And then there is no penalty for prosecutorial misconduct. The problem is, Lou, it happens day after day after day in this country, and it happens to people we will never hear about, and there is no justice in the end for those folks. No.
There is also political purpose
Yeah.
and gain. In this instance, as you and the audience recalls, Senator Ted Stevens was beaten in that election with the conviction overhanging him that was later overturned because of prosecutorial misconduct.
A week before his election.
And the reversal and the switching of parties by Arlen Specter led to the passage of Obamacare.
Correct. That's, you put it in proper history, as you always do, Lou Dobbs.
Thank you very much, sir.
Nice
Senator
to see
Johnson,
you.
great to have you
Great
with
to
us.
have you. Thank you.